I usually never record before my morning ritual, but I felt as though there was something that I needed to get out to a collective. There was a dream that I had. Um, it seemed like one dream melted into another dream. They could have had something to do with each other. They could not have. I don't know. So I'm just going to start from what I remember. So, um, if you've been following me for a while, you know that when I have the dreams, I like to say I so that the storyline can flow more smoothly because I usually don't know who the people are in the dream. But anyway, so I went to visit someone that I was seeing. I feel like we were trying to decide, well, I was trying to decide if he was someone that I wanted to build a relationship with or not. I feel like we had fun, but it was mostly sexual. So I really couldn't. It was kind of hard to decide. But anyway, so I went to visit him. I don't know why I keep saying we. I went to visit him, and he greeted me outside. Um, Once he let me in, no, my mind was skipping. He didn't greet me outside. He let me in. And I remember that there were like kennels, dog kennels. There was a mother dog in a kennel, a separate kennel, and then she had puppies. She had quite a few puppies actually. And now that I'm thinking about it, this is my second dream about new puppies. So I don't know, someone may be a breeder or something like that. Because I remember the first dream, there were like 10 black puppies, and some of the black puppies had white like under their chin, and I think some of them, I don't, some or if not all of them had like a curly coat, like they're like a more crinkly haired coat. But anyway, in this dream, they were like tan and white. They were all different colors. I even saw like a couple of chocolate ones. But as I went through, I walked, I greeted the puppies, and then we went outside, me and the guy. And when we got outside, that's when he greeted me. He hugged me, he lifted me up, he spent me around, he kissed me. He just made me feel so special. And I think that that's why I was battling with if I wanted this to be a relationship or not, is because of how he made me feel. Like we didn't really do much. It wasn't like really an exciting dating life, but he made me feel special in the time that we spent together and the things that we did do. But anyway, we were going for a walk in his apartment complex, and we were like by a lake, and there was this little boy. It was this cute little boy, and I was like, oh, look at him, he's so cute and all of that. You know how women are. And he was like, yeah, he's like, he asked the little boy, like, what's your name or something like that. And the little boy told him, and he's like, well, where are your parents? And the little boy said, well, you're my dad's and my mom's over there. And I'm like, what? And I remember the guy going like, huh? Like, okay, well, let's just leave him, to his business, and we just continue our walk. So we go on our walk. We kind of walk in the direction of where the little boy said his mom was. Not intentionally. It just happened that way. And the guy that I was with saw his mom, and immediately he redirected us to go back the other way. And in my mind, I knew exactly what was going on. I felt like, okay, so maybe he does know the mom, and he may think that maybe that is his child. what happened? Okay, so there was this guy that approached us. We were a young black couple. The guy that approached us was an older Caucasian, and he was very aggressive, but he was trying to be passive aggressive. He was like, "Excuse me, did you go to such and such when you were 15 and play this sport and all of that?" And my date was like, "Yeah," but we were still walking, eyes forward. He was answering the questions or whatnot. And then when we looked around again, we were surrounded by Caucasian men, and I remember knowing that my guy had a gun on him because he just that's just how he rolled. He always made sure when we were out or when he was out that there was protection. Um, I did not feel like this was a dream set back in the day, but the way that these men were surrounding us and approaching us, it felt like it was back in the day. But anyway, so we are walking. At this point, we are very serious. We are very together. We're holding on to each other very tight because we're surrounded by these men are older. They seem tall. I know that it was just in the dream, and it was in the dream to show me that these men had some sort of power, like they had money and prestige or something like that. But they were like bigger than us, and so we were walking hand in hand, arm in arm. We were very close to each other, walking, we were trying to get anywhere where we would be safe. So I think we like kind of started like a burst of running. And I remember that they were like, no, before the burst of running, I remember I'm like, because they started yelling things to the guy that I was dating. And I remember like standing up for him, like, this is disrespectful. This is not how you handle this. You're supposed to like handle this in a court of law. This is not something that you just walk up to somebody on the street and just start accusing them of. And I felt like he kind of stood down because maybe he felt like, okay, well, she know her rights, so we can't get him this way, so we got to try something else. I'm like, so just give me your number and we'll have the lawyers like contact each other. So he gave me this card, and like we kept walking. And when we noticed that they weren't following, then that's when we broke into a run. But I think like the way that we were walking to somewhere, we had to cut through a building in order to not, I don't know, and I don't know, for some reason we had to cut through a building. We cut through this building and it ends up being a liquor store, which is crazy. And we go from the back to the front. By the time we make it up to the door, there is something on the floor in front of us, and like right at the door. And excuse me, I remember being afraid to touch it because it felt like they could frame us for something. I don't know. But we got around it, and then like right as we were about to touch the door, I don't know if he was a security guard, police officer, or what, but he started coming from like a side door, and he was like, "Excuse me, hold there," with the authority. And I was like, "We did not do anything. This was here. We about to go, and you have no right to keep us here." We shoot out the door, and they're following us at this point. At this point, we're basically being hunted, and like we make it out of the parking lot and like down this walkway. And once we get down this walkway, it's a plethora of people. But these people, these officers, and the man and whoever, they were like right on our tails. So instantly I just started screaming. I just started yelling like, "Hate crime, hate crime, hate crime." And people started paying attention. And then the other people, like, they kind of fall away. They're like still looking to see if anybody's gonna come, because if nobody comes, I felt like they were gonna still do whatever they were trying to do. But people started coming to us, people started pulling out cameras, people started surrounding us, and then all of a sudden there was this news crew, and it was just like this big this whole big scene. And from then on, this is where the dream switches. It like melts into a different dream, to whereas there was like this, I don't want to say I'm gonna just say how it felt. It's like this 2 building apartment complex. The buildings were kind of long, but they weren't very long. It was like 2 buildings, kind of, one was facing one direction and one was facing another direction. And it felt like it was like out in like a desert type setting, or like a setting that was very dry. And I remember knowing in this dream that people wanted us out of this village. They wanted to do, I'm calling it a village, but people wanted us out of this village. They wanted to do something with the land that we were on, but we lived here. It was full. It was a full community, a full village. And I remember, like, even though it was a full village, like it was a community, there was a little beefing, like maybe the 2 different buildings beefed from time to time or whatnot. I don't know. But I feel like that they were, the buildings were like about to like enter in some sort of fight or whatnot. And I remember going like to the front of one of the buildings, and I saw, I don't know how to say it, but I saw some people, a group of people setting up to prepare an attack on our villages. They had weapons. I remember seeing 2 big ass lions, y'all. They had 2 big ass lions. And when I saw this, I ran in to tell everybody what I saw, what was going on. And I heard somebody say, they got them lions so that they can pretend like we were never here, so they can make it seem like we weren't ever here. Like the lions were just going to eat all of us up or something. I don't know. But these lions were huge. They were bigger than what you would think, that how big you think a lion is. How big you think a lion is, they're already huge. They were even bigger than that. And it was 2 of them. Like it was 1 for each building. And I remember going back down. I remember a lot of gunshots. I remember a lot of that going on. And then I remember going back up the stairs very carefully so as not, to get shot. There were like people being shot. It was a lot going on. And I remember going into like a specific apartment, and it wasn't mine. I don't even remember if I knew whose it was, but I was going in to let everybody know like what was happening outside. And I get inside, and there are these random people, like people are in here hurt and they don't know what to do. And I'm feeling like, I don't know. I remember feeling defeated. Like there's something that I needed to do or something. And I remember somebody saying, they killed your son. They killed all of our people. They killed your son, and they're gonna try to kill us. And I remember like bursting out crying, because yes, they did kill my child, in the dream. And I remember doing a lot. I was crying a lot. And then I heard a knock at the door, and it was the people that were down there setting up to take us out. And I remember like they had a camera. They had a camera, and I didn't know it was a camera because it looked different than any camera I've ever seen. So I'm thinking that they're about to shoot whatever this thing is about to kill me. But it was a camera. And then there was a guy behind the camera who was he was like watching me in a very desirable way. And, they were still outside the door at this point. I'm terrified at the door. And then I just remember them making me this offer. And it was like an offer to take out, whoever I saw or whoever was in this apartment building. And they gave me like this little, I'm saying little, but it was big for a knife, but small for a sword. So they gave me this and they told me that I had to take out these people. And I don't know if like my foot was cut off or if I just saw someone's foot cut off, but I do remember that part. And I feel like I made the decision to do it. I went and I attacked all of these people. I took all of these people out. And even like I remember going through in my head, like I got to get the men first. That's who I got to get first while everybody is surprised and they don't know what's going on. And I remember like the very last person standing, I took everybody out. There was all types of people in this room. And the last person standing bust out of a room and shot. They started shooting. And I just remember hitting the ground. And then there were other bullets coming from another direction. So I'm just knowing that the other people that hired me at the time came in to take out the rest of the people. So I just remember crying. And then I hear cut. And as I am getting up from the floor, I walk out and I still keep crying. I can't cry. I can't stop crying. I'm out there by myself. And then I remember telling people like, I gotta go see them. I have to see them. And I went out of another door and I saw like at least the very first person that I stabbed. I saw them and they turned around and smiled at me. And I just remember going up to them and just placing the biggest hug on them and just crying. And then I woke up from the dream. It was like this dream was from an actor's perspective. I feel like they had to embody this energy of a murderer, basically. And after they finished, it kind of messed with who they are as a person. I feel like they played a character they would never thought to play. I just saw 1717 on the clock. I don't know what made them say yes. Maybe they just felt like, I could take on any role. I don't know. But I just felt like I just needed to share that dream because it was just like pick up the mic, pick up the mic, pick up the mic. That's all I kept hearing. And I never record before I do my morning ritual. So for me to be guided to pick up the mic meant that I needed to. I just needed to get out to somebody. So I don't know what the significance is for you. I don't know. All I know is, you needed to hear this. So I send you so much love and light, so much healing from whatever role you're playing, so much congratulations for having a role, and namaste.